Hey everyone, it's Adam here, aka Cena Guy, back to another review on a whole new different franchise. I'm reviewing this franchise for a particular reason. Sometimes when you own a YouTube account as long as I have, I've had this account for 7 years now, you usually look back on your old stuff. And I look back on the very first video I made on this channel. And the very first video I made on this channel, 7 years ago exactly, is a review on John Carpenter's Halloween. And if you would have told me back then that I'd be here again 7 years later, reviewing this movie yet again, I would have never believed any one of you. I don't know if any of you have seen that video and you look at me now, you'd say, God, Adam, you've aged and you've also put on weight. It's just one of those things, everybody, but I'm reviewing this movie not because I did a flashback and saw myself 7 years ago and I thought to myself I'm going to do some refresher videos reviewing these movies, but it's also because I'm a big fan of these movies as well. I love them so much that I own the entire franchise. Well, I should say some of the sequels. I'll get into them reasons why in different reviews why I don't own all of them. But the first movie I definitely own on Blu-ray, John Carpenter's Halloween, that came out in the year of 1978. Love this movie, everybody. It was such a big hit, and I don't think John Carpenter was aware that this movie was going to be somewhat of a legacy. I don't think he was aware that he was going to make sequels to this. I don't think he was aware of how popular the Michael Myers character was going to be. I don't think he had any awareness whatsoever of what was going to be in store for the future of this particular film. There has been a remake to this film, Rob Zombie's Halloween, and in my opinion that's a god-awful piece of shit. Along with the sequel's even worse. Halloween 2 by Rob Zombie, fucking atrocious movies. If you want to see me rant on those two movies, then check out my older videos. You'll see I did a little bit of a role play in the Pump Full of Venom, expressing my hate for those two movies. We'll have to see where we go from here when I'll review their movies later on in the future. Anyhow, John Carpenter's Halloween, that came in the year of 1978. There's loads of reasons why I love this movie, everybody. It's not your typical horror movie like Nightmare on Elm Street, which of course is my favourite. I absolutely worship Freddy Krueger, hence why I've got him on my arm tattooed. It's not like your typical Hellraiser movie with Pinhead. And it's definitely not like your typical Friday the 13th movie with Jason Voorhees. All great horror icons, and they're all famous for their own ways, and there's something about them. But let's talk about briefly this guy, Michael Myers. Now, I'm a big fan of this character, everybody. I love Michael Myers. I've got a lot of his stuff, you know, not to mention his own franchise on Blu-ray, but also I own a bobblehead, and also this right here, talking Michael Myers statue. So I love the character up to the point where I collect some of his stuff. Why do I love Michael Myers characters? The Michael Myers character, it's because he's different. I'll tell you why he's different. We know nothing about him. In my opinion, that's what makes him really scary. The fact we know nothing about Michael Myers. And from when we see the film, throughout the whole film, we learn that he's a mixture of different things. We learn that he's a stalker. At the start of the film, when he's a little boy, we learn that for no reason at all, or if there is a reason but we're unaware what that reason is, he brutally kills his sister and her boyfriend on Halloween night. But sparing his little sister's baby's, his little baby sister's life. Spares her life, but he dresses up in a clown costume on Halloween and brutally stabs his sister to death. The police arrive at the scene and they take Michael Myers away while he's still a boy. We don't know why he did it. And Michael Myers never says a word throughout any of the films. That makes him even more scary because obviously you've got to talk to express how you're feeling, what's going through your mind, your emotional state. Michael Myers doesn't do that. And at least we know with Freddy Krueger, he's getting revenge because all the parents killed him by setting him on fire, and he's coming back through the dreams to hunt the children of the parents that killed him. We know Jason Voorhees is mental mind because he was drowned by all the kids at the Camp Crystal Lake, and now he's killing anybody who crosses the path on Camp Crystal Lake. We know Pinhead is like a mastermind demon who only kills people for opening the puzzle box. But this guy, Michael Myers, very different. I mean, we get a basic, start to the movie. This little boy, Michael Myers, he just dresses up in a clown costume, and we're seeing things through his eyes through the mask. He stabs his sister to death, and we don't know why, and spares his little baby sister's life. And the police arrest him at the scene and take him away. We know he's under psychiatric care by this guy called Loomis, who's played by Donald Pleasance, and another great actor, Donald Pleasance. He did a fantastic job with his role in this movie. He put his heart and soul into the Loomis character, who really brought the character to life. I thought he looked the part. The way he moved, the way he spoke, the way he showed emotion. Particularly in Halloween 4, but that's another review for another day. In this particular movie, he just put his heart and soul into the character, along with Jamie Lee Curtis, who plays her role in this movie as well. But it's 15 years later, Michael Myers escapes, and he heads back to his hometown with one intention in mind: to track down his sister. I mean, along the way, he steals a mechanic's overalls and a mask, and plus with some knives and some other stabbing weapons. But he doesn't go on a killing spree straight away. He does introduce these very interesting characters at the start of the Halloween movie. And throughout the film, the first movie does drag a little bit, but that was good because we're understanding more about the characters' backgrounds, which understand more about them. And throughout the film, we see little dabs of Michael Myers just appearing out of nowhere in certain places. Like the classroom scene, for example, where she's looking out the window and Michael Myers is outside the classroom window. There's a scene where he's hiding behind a tree bush, like in the street area. There's the time where Laurie's answering the phone and she sees Michael Myers behind the fucking washing line where all the sheets are hanging. And she's sometimes wondering if she's really seeing reality or it's just her own imagination, and having the feeling that somebody's following her. So, not only is Michael Myers a mystery character, but he's also a stalker. A stalker who doesn't speak. A stalker who we don't know what's going through his particular mind. That's what makes Michael Myers really scary, in my opinion. He's appearing nowhere, he's staring down his victims. We don't know what he's trying to say or what he's trying to do, why he's staring them down. That's a great change for this character. It makes him different from all the others. Appearing out of nowhere, staring this girl down, we don't know why. We later learn that she was the baby sister, now all grown up 15 years later. And Michael Myers has come back together. At the same time, Loomis, played by Donald Pleasance, like I've already mentioned, heads back to the hometown because he feels that's where Michael Myers is. He's going to finish what he did 15 years ago. And of course, Loomis is on one big mission to try and track down Michael Myers and recapture him, basically, or kill him to help spare the lives of all these other people. I mean, he doesn't really go straight for Laurie straight away. He has his scenes where he does different kill counts, and I tell you, the kill count is not that big either. So he doesn't go over the board with the killings. Another thing is, there was a lot of blood in this movie, which was unnecessary. You don't have to have loads of blood in a horror movie to make it unique or stand out. But they did throw in a lot of blood in this movie, a lot of stabbing scenes. And I don't know if that was needed for a Halloween movie, or for a Halloween movie that had the Michael Myers character in it for the way he was. I mean, they was just doing a good job making it scary alone, with just Michael Myers just appearing out of nowhere in certain scenes throughout the movie and doing all his stalking habits, basically. I mean, we already had a great character demonstration from Laurie Strode. We had a great character demonstration from Loomis, played by two really great actors. I mean, she's babysitting. Michael Myers is like trying to stalk her down and kill her. At least that's what we see. There's a scene where this couple's having sex and Michael Myers is hiding behind this bed sheet, and she's thinking it's the boyfriend, and she ends up getting killed. You know, there's several scenes with Michael Myers where he has his own way of killing his victims. I mean, he tries to kill Laurie Strode. Laurie Strode is on like one big mission to try and spare her own life and protect the children, basically. I love the closet scene where she uses that wire hanger as a weapon. But there's different scenes. I mean, I remember when I watched this scene for the first time, and I was wondering, is Michael Myers really going to kill his sister? You know, what's he going to do? You know, where's Michael Myers next? There was some edgy scenes where you was on the edge of your seat wondering what was going to happen next. At least when I was, because I really got into the film. I really got into the character. So I was eager to see what was going to happen. I was eager to see if Laurie Strode was going to succeed with her survival ambitions and things like that. But I was also a fan of this guy. I wanted to see more about this guy. I was intrigued. You know, I wanted to know more, like, what's he planning on doing next? You know, will we ever know the reason why he spared his sister's life when she was a baby? Why did he kill his sister? I was eager to find all this stuff out. But at the same time, there was another part of me that didn't want to find out any of this stuff. Because just keeping his sister's death a mystery would be great for this character. It really would. Just not knowing the reasons why. Maybe he was just mentally born evil. You know? And when you got a character like that, you know, it's unpredictable. Anything can happen. It's just totally refreshing. I mean, the ending scene was great as well. Because we know what's going to happen in most of these ending scenes where you got these characters, they end up dying and they don't come back. But like I said with John Carpenter, he had no intentions of making sequels. He had no intentions of knowing what was going to happen, of this turning into one big massive franchise. You know, I don't think he had any idea about anything about this movie. I mean, it's a 78 movie. This is before Nightmare on Elm Street and all that kind of stuff. So he's one of the original horror icons. I mean, Roger Albert says Halloween is an absolute merciless thriller. I would compare it to Psycho, and you got 4 stars for that as at the front of the cover. I say I've got rid of all my DVDs now. I've got them all on Blu-ray, especially the Halloween franchise, because I just love it so much. I mean, the ending scene where he gets shot by the detective, he falls off the balcony onto the garden below, and then we learn that Michael Myers is not dead because just before the credits roll, his body's missing. So it just goes to show that his mission to try and hunt down his sister is not fully over. But again, we think to ourselves, how did he survive the gunshot? You know, where did he go? We don't know these things. A complete mystery of the movie, and it was completely different. That's what I really loved about this. It wasn't your typical horror movie. It was a different, refreshing movie, and it was straight to the point. The plot wasn't complicated. The characters were lovable, straight to the point. You know, it was one of those movies that didn't raise too many questions either. John Carpenter did a fantastic job of this movie. And if you ask me, he deserves all the fame that he gets today. He deserves all the praise for the Michael Myers character. You know, Rob Zombie doesn't even come close to John Carpenter. Nowhere near fucking close. I thought Jamie Lee Curtis was a great option to play Laurie Strode in this movie. Same with Donald Pleasance with his role as Loomis. I mean, I'm glad I've got this on Blu-ray. I mean, many people like it on VHS or DVD because of its oldness and it adds a whole feel to it. But I like it on Blu-ray because I like to see more about what's going on. And plus the special features, there's not so many. But there's an audio commentary with the writer and director John Carpenter, actress Jamie Lee and producer Deborah Hill, fast film facts, a cut above the rest trailer, TV spots and radio spots. I mean, the film isn't a very long film. It's 91 minutes, which is just about right. But so at least the movie didn't drag. And when I said it dragged at the start of the movie, he did that for a reason. That was to develop the whole stalking side of Michael Myers. So that scene was really needed, in my opinion. Again, it's a fantastic masterpiece, this first Halloween movie. It's not my favourite one in the franchise. Halloween 4 will always be my favourite. And I'll get to that in that review. But the first Halloween is definitely a classic. It's my second favourite one in the franchise. You can't beat the originals, in my opinion. You know, Michael Myers wouldn't be who he is today if it weren't for the success of this first movie. You've got to respect this movie. If you're a big fan of Michael Myers, then you'll agree that Halloween, the first one, is what really made him what he is today. You know, a stalker. Well, at least they didn't express that in some of the sequels, which I was really disappointed about. But some of the sequels go in different directions that I didn't like, and they kind of ruined the Michael Myers character in certain aspects. But other than that, this was a really fantastic film. I'll just state some more facts before I end this review, everybody. This movie was shot in Southern California. I mean, its release date was in 1978 was on October 25th, the exact release date. Just let me scroll down a little more, everyone. The music in this movie, masterpiece. I mean, the music was done by Carpenter again. You know, we all know the famous theme of Halloween. Perfect theme for the Michael Myers character, really well done. Of course, Jason Voorhees got like that music, and Freddy Krueger's got like the ding 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 ding. Every character's got their own fitting music, and Michael Myers' music, you know, with that instrument is just pure fitting. Just pure fitting. What else is there? Yeah, there's several sequels and remakes. Some of them are good, some of them aren't. I'll get to them in later reviews. It's got a complete 70s feel to this. You can tell it was made in the 70s, and it was really unique for one of those reasons. I mean, the movie was a big hit. It was considered one of the best films in its day, but still is today. People still talk about this movie. I mean, I know they've just recently come out with a new Halloween movie, and they're planning to make more sequels. But let's put it this way: the magic and the true nature of the Michael Myers character, it's all in this movie. Let's be honest. They'll never make a sequel or a remake that will top the first one off, John Carpenter's Halloween. No way. That's all I've got to say, everybody. Please check this out if you're a die-hard horror fanatic. Everyone's seen this by now, but if you haven't, you're missing a classic. You won't be disappointed if you haven't seen Halloween yet and going to see it. Please check out the original 1978 version. I know people are going to see the newer versions first because it's what's coming out of the cinema right now and it's hot stuff right now. But please check this out first before you go any further. Can't beat the classics, and you can't beat the originals either. Please check this out. That's all I've got to say, everyone. Stay tuned for more reviews on the sequels. Peace out.